The biggest thing I talk about is how the founder of Nike, Phil Knight, he started his career as a CPA.
Hello and welcome to yet another edition of CPAs Unplugged. Today on the show we have a very special guest, a very well-dressed gentleman, President and CEO of Michigan Association of CPAs. Bob, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Varun, for having me.
This is so amazing. I landed in Detroit, drove down, city of cars.
Yes, definitely the Motor City.
So, Bob, tell us about yourself. How did you land up here? You seem to be, a fun and exciting guy. What are you doing in the world of accounting?
Well, I love being in the world of accounting and working with CPAs because it is a fun and exciting career.
Seriously?
As you may have heard, CPA stands for the coolest profession around. And
wow,
so
I haven't heard of that.
Well, we're working on it. We've heard of some of the other state societies. We want to get that message out because it certainly is the coolest profession around.
So Bob, whenever I go around, I have one of the slides which reads, how do we make accounting sexy again? Mm-hmm. And when I present that slide, people have a bigger problem with the word again.
Again, why? Because we can make it, I hear about, becoming a CPA sexy and all that. To me, I think one of the great things about being a CPA certainly is the stability of the career and how it can take you in so many different directions from what we were talking about, how you could work internationally or you could work in your hometown and everywhere in between. Going into accounting, becoming a CPA, that's why I love talking to college students, high school students, talking about the opportunities that they have in front of them by getting that CPA behind their name.
You represent CPA, the profession,
Yep.
You carry CPA, you speak about CPA, you also wear CPA. I can see CPA all over you. I mean, right from your badge, which is MICPA, it sounds like Mission Impossible CPA. And then look at your shoes and your socks. Why don't you tell us more about your Nike shoes and we were just chatting about.
This started actually a little over a year ago. I have two boys that are now 12 and 10, and they are really into sneakers. And they told me about a year ago, because they know I talked to college students, high school students, said, Dad, if you want to be cool, you got to wear some sneakers. And I was like, all right, and we'll try this. And so I got kind of a regular pair of Nikes and had my first, one of our high school leaders conferences and also talking to college students, and it worked. It was a talking point. And the biggest thing I talk about is how the founder of Nike, Phil Knight, he started his career as a CPA. And so I say, look at these Air Force Ones, these kicks that this man who started in public accounting, went into education, then decided, let's start a shoe company. Now he's a billionaire, one of the most successful, apparel and shoe companies in the world. And so now this is my second pair that the MICPA team got me here about a year ago to celebrate my 3-year anniversary here at MICPA. And it says MICPA on the back, so they're personalized. So then now others, one of my board members now has shoes that say CPA on it. So now I want to see you in some Nike Air Force Ones that say CPA next time I see you.
I'm getting them today, and
all right.
I think we should gift every managing partner a pair of sneakers.
All right, maybe we can get someone to support that, and we can do that for sure. So because it really, and it is a great talking point, and that's how when I talk to students, one of my favorite parts of my job, actually, I get to do that this coming week, is to talk to 150 high school students we're going to have in a room. We're bringing in a bunch of speakers over lunch.
Go for accounting.
Yes,
accounting is great.
Absolutely. Just to kind of get that in there. It's a little bit of a long play, when we talk about the pipeline and helping to fill the pipeline. But having an impact on these students. If you talk to CPAs today, a lot of times it was a teacher. It was a teacher either in high school, maybe a teacher in college, that got them on their path to becoming a CPA. So who knows? I think we're all in this together, working on the pipeline issue.
And you're talking about the pipeline issue. Tell us more about that, Bob. What's the pipeline issue that you see in Michigan in particular, and across the country in general?
Yep.
What do you see the firms talking about? What do you think are the solutions? What's your take?
Well, certainly in Michigan and across other states, there's more CPAs that are retiring, that are leaving the profession, than that are coming in. So there certainly is a shortage. I think pipeline also has technology implications. Certainly, the use of technology is allowing firms to be able to be smarter when it comes to their human capital.
Absolutely.
But also at the same time, there's always going to be a need for CPAs. If I hear another prognosticator talk about how AI is going to take all the accountants' jobs and all the CPA jobs, not going to happen. we're always going to need people. We're always going to need that creativity. And it's kind of coming full circle a little bit because before I came to MICPA, I worked in the robotics and automation industry. And same discussion then, that robots were going to take all the jobs. And that hasn't happened. Advanced manufacturing here, especially in the automotive capital of the world, there's awesome jobs out there, especially in advanced manufacturing, robotics. And here in that county, there's fantastic careers in technology. I mean, that's one of the reasons why with CPA Evolution, how it's changing to be a little bit more tech focused. And so, and STEM, having STEM designation in some of the universities, as well as hopefully we'll get that across the finish line here nationally. Absolutely. to make a county part of STEM. So, in a roundabout way, there's lots of things that we're doing to help support that pipeline. And hopefully it's having an impact and being those future CPAs that are working for the largest firms all the way to the small firms and then across business and industry and in any industry and profession that of course, being a CPA in.
So, I heard you talking about, the session that you're going to have with more than 100 high school students, telling them about accounting as a profession. I mean, why do you think a lot of students are not taking up accounting? I mean, what's going? Accounting used to be a very sacred, a very sacrosanct profession in the 90s, maybe early 2000s. I don't know, but 80s and 90s it was like super amazing. And suddenly you see a lot of folks going away.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe it is. It's probably a little bit of a misconception about the profession. They think, oh, it's just you're doing taxes, and that's certainly not at all. I mean, there's certainly that part. There's a lot of fantastic CPAs out there that focus on taxes, but there's so much more than that. And I think maybe there's this notion in like the media that it's kind of a dead end job, or it's a job that you work in the basement and you work with numbers. And one of the biggest things I hear is, I'm not good at math. Well, guess what? You don't have to be good at math.
We have a calculator.
Yeah, exactly. There's calculators and software that does the math for you. I know a lot of great CPAs that aren't very good at math. So, I think just trying to get that message across and getting people to really understand what it involves is one of the key things that I think we all can do. And frankly, this is my message to any CPAs that are listening or watching. We got to do a better job at talking about our own profession.
I think that's why the MICP hired you, right?
Try. I mean, rather than the talking about how we work 80 hours a week during busy season or whatever. Well, guess what? Here in the beautiful state of Michigan, I know a lot of CPAs that don't work much in the summer because they're on their boats or they're at their cabin or their cottage up north. Absolutely. They're enjoying their lives. And yes, there's just like any career, there's times of busyness.
Seasons, yeah.
Of course, and if you want to advance in your career, of course you're going to need to work hard and have those opportunities like I think many of us, we all have done. So let's not make that a badge of honor that you work 80 plus hours a week, 6-8 weeks out of the year. Let's talk about the 40 plus weeks out of the year that that you're enjoying life and you're golfing on Friday afternoons when it's a beautiful day out. So I think those we want to make sure we do a better job of talking about the opportunities
like
that.
The perfect salesman for CPA.
Well, I'm trying.
So how did you land up here, right? An environmental engineer.
Yeah.
Who does PR stuff and then runs a CPA society. I mean, what's happening?
Yeah. Well, I mean, just a quick.
And a baseball coach.
Well, in my free time, I love to coach, and actually, that's probably part of my career too. I love to coach. I love to lead, and so I started my bachelor's degree in environmental engineering. I grew up here in the beautiful, I mentioned beautiful state of Michigan a few times. I was always interested in the environment, in sustainability.
And now CPAs are interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. So that's kind of how it's come full circle. So I graduated from college, from Michigan Tech University, which actually has a great accounting program, which is funny because I didn't pay attention to the accounting program. I was in the engineering program.
And the accounting professors watching that video, like this is the guy.
Yeah, and so I came to Metro Detroit and worked in the automotive industry, working at General Motors as an environmental engineer in several different facilities.
But I think Tesla's.
Yeah, right. So I actually dealt with sustainability issues. Managing, reducing waste, air emissions, that water treatment, that sort of thing.
Got it.
And I realized how much I really enjoyed that part of my job. And so I decided to go back to school. and I got my master's degree here in Detroit at Wayne State University in public relations and marketing. And so that's kind of where my
you
career...
like to save the environment and then tell the world that you've saved the environment.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
My career kind of started transitioning a little bit. I went into marketing and communications, the environmental industry, and then I had the opportunity to leave and go work for a trade association in the robotics and automation space.
Wow.
And so that, so I was there, and as I mentioned, talking about robots and jobs, it was an international association, so I had a chance to travel internationally, started an association in Mexico, which was great. Had the opportunity to lead marketing communications and advocacy there. And so it was about 4 years ago when my predecessor here at MICPA was retiring, and I had the opportunity to interview and apply for the job, and I always had a goal of leading an organization one day. Blessed and honored to be selected.
Just the energy, or?
I don't know. I thought either they're going to look at my resume and say, well, this is a guy, he doesn't know a ton about accounting, but I kind of learned how associations are work and a lot of background in strategic planning and leadership, and they either throw my resume in the trash or maybe we'll have a chance. So I was very fortunate and grateful for the opportunity and blessed to be able to do this on a daily basis.
So you're like one of the rock star State CPA Society CPAs?
No, the organization that...
I was telling you, everybody loved you at the conference.
I love to... I work with a fantastic team of individuals here at MICPA. I had the pleasure of working them, the joy of working with them every day. I talk about our culture of joy, trust, and innovation, that we all work together to serve our members every day. But we have this awesome network of state societies, all the 54 jurisdictions that license CPAs. And I learned so much from my colleagues, the CEO colleagues that I have the opportunity to network with, collaborate with, learn from. And then also the staffs of all the state societies too, that many of our staff members, they get to collaborate and network, learn from, sometimes steal ideas from. We're all in this together. We're all working together, and it's a great network that I'm privileged and honored to work with.
Amazing. So how does it really work, right? So you have state CPA societies which are, pretty strong within the state. How do you actually collaborate nationally? And of course, there's the AICPA.
But actually, we have our own association too, so that's part of it.
Got it.
So as part of that association, we meet, several times a year in person. A lot of times we'll meet in conjunction with an AICPA meeting. We have a summer meeting that's for all the staffs, usually once a year. And then we also have, we have like a Connect platform that we share information, be able to communicate. And then some of the other groups meet as well. So like, actually right now, the COOs of some of the state societies are gathering together at a conference. We have our learning teams gathered together. So yeah, we are all in this together. A lot of times we're all facing some of the same challenges, but also the same opportunities. And I will say, I think we've seen even more collaboration in ways that the states can work together, especially on some of these big issues like pipeline, like the future of learning, like advocacy, all the collaboration piece, what we're all, especially, still, coming out of COVID, what does that look like? How do we continue to serve our members? And especially as many of us are facing, fewer CPAs in the state, thus fewer members, how can we continue to work together to ensure that we're viable organizations? MICPA has been around now for 123 years.
Wow.
We're gonna be around for another 123. And so, one of my roles is to make sure of that and serve the thousands of CPA members that we have here in Michigan.
And you're right, Bob. And I talk as an outsider here. When we as Miles, we started talking to societies. We saw, as we spoke to a few of them, we started working with a few of them, and then everything got connected. A lot of them were excited. So we're working with Cal CPA, with Texas, we with Virginia, with Maryland, with so many other CPA societies, of course, in Michigan. So what we see here is, right, so once we have one CPA society who tried a model, introduced to the members, saw some success, everybody is willing to take it up. So what do you think of the Miles model, where we're converting accounting into STEM, and then we have and accounting to STEM, one thing, Bob, we've also seen when accounting becomes STEM in universities, even the domestic enrollments shoot up.
Yeah.
So domestic enrollments are going up because accounting now becomes more glamorous, more sexy. And you also have the international candidates who are coming in, the international accountants who can do let's say a graduate program, which is a 1-year program, and they get a 3-year work on that a post-study work visa. I mean, they don't really need to get a separate visa if fun works for them. So what do you think of this entire model of trying to get an international accountants
Sure.
who are experienced into the US to perhaps solve for the pipeline. What's your take?
I think it's a great draw. I mean, in Michigan State, a little over an hour down the road is it's the largest university in the state producing accountants, producing CPAs, and I know you've partnered with them, and I know that they've made accounting part of their STEM program.
Absolutely.
I know there's other universities here in Michigan that are working on it as well.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a great model. I think the opportunity for STEM, it does introduce, because a lot of parents are looking for STEM careers for their kids. So if accounting is part of STEM, that opens up new avenues as well. So yeah, I think we certainly, and I know you've made a lot of progress already in just, I don't know, a year or so that you've kind of entered the U.S. market.
Absolutely.
And we want to work together and continue to support that.
So Bob, when we look at this entire solution, right? So the firms win because they get talent, the universities win because they've got empty seats, and they've got good candidates now. But when we look at from the candidate perspective, right? A lot of them are very excited about the American dream, the great American dream. And you one brought up here. What's the American dream?
I think the American dream is to have goals, to maybe have some success. And I don't want to always just talk about money, because there's so much more than that. But frankly, that meeting a need or being able to provide for yourself, for your families, and be able to give back to your community, I think is that dream. And I think that's what CPAs are finding. I mean, I talk to so many that, whether they work in a large firm, they work in a small firm, they work in business and industry. One thing I found that's common is they all love to have this spirit of community. They give back. They give back in their communities. Many of them are on nonprofit boards. And I think that's part of the dream too, to give back. We're all put on this earth, I firmly believe, to have an impact. To have an impact on your family, have an impact on the people you work with, have an impact on your community. And I think that really is the biggest piece of the American dream. And I think accountants, I think CPAs certainly have that opportunity.
Absolutely. Now Bob, I'm going to do some rapid fire.
Sure.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. I got my coffee right here. I'm an early riser, so I start by making my coffee at home and drink quite a bit in the morning. Then if I'm coming to the office, then I make more here. So coffee, absolutely.
Wow. So you're always energetic and...
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm an early bird. I usually wake up between 4:30 and 5.
Even when it's so cold? And
Yeah. I have my routine. I enjoy my some quiet time before before the family gets up or whatever, if it's during school or whatever. So if I'm home, or even when I travel, I like waking up early and trying to get a workout in or something. So
wow.
Yeah.
Where do you go holiday? You go to the mountains or you go on the lake?
I prefer a lake. Well, I guess I love both, but you can't beat summers in Michigan. So we have family that live on
You go fishing?
Inland lake. Yeah, fishing, boating, just hanging out by the beach. There's obviously the Great Lakes. I grew up kind of camping, so going to all the Great Lakes and everything in Michigan. But then I do like, we usually for spring break, we'll go down to Florida. I enjoy the beaches, and it's always nice to be next to a pool as well, but it's always nice to be next to the water.
So you're enjoying the summers in Florida and the beaches there and the lakes here in Michigan?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Michigan versus Florida?
Well, I would say Florida in the winter.
Okay.
Even though I do love the winters here, because I play hockey with my kids and spend a lot of time at ice rinks, so I build an ice rink in my backyard.
Do you have a rink in your backyard as well?
I do, yeah. It's been a little warm lately, so we haven't been able to skate. But it's supposed to get cold again soon, so we can skate in my backyard. Yeah.
Wow. And the kids skate or you skate as well?
Yep, they skate. We play hockey, and it's kind of my passion project for the winter. I make the ice all nice, even if it snows. I got to make sure it gets all cleaned up.
I'm just getting worried. What does such a cool guy do in accounting?
I told you, the coolest profession around. There's lots of cool people in accounting.
Amazing. So Bob, now the most challenging task that you've ever accomplished?
Well, easy. So I started this role at the end of February 2020. The end of my third week was when the world shut down because of COVID. Yeah. So I barely even met some of my staff, and we all went home.
You didn't even know the full form of CPA, and you kept saying coolest professional.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously we all went through it. We all learned a ton. It was hard, but at the same time, when I look back on that, and I mean, certainly I would never wish a global pandemic on anyone, but it was it was an opportunity for us to kind of relook at how we as an association served our members. The creativity, the innovation that I saw from the staff here, from the team here was so awesome to see, and how we all kind of came together and rallied around it. And I'll admit, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean,
do you know it today?
No, you just keep faking it.
Just having fun.
Right.
And you just wear the MICPA shoes,
you
the socks, and the badge, and you say your CPA is cool. And I'm just kidding.
And you just try new things.
Love your spirit, Bob.
No, thank you. You try new things, and actually during that time, I learned from other state societies, my state society colleagues, because we used to have Zoom calls like every week or every other week, just talk like what's going on, how can we help each other, and I look back on that. It was hard, but it was rewarding at the same time, and that's really kind of set us up for where we are today.
So what's the best part of working at MICPA?
People.
Your team or the people in
the
charge?
Team here, like I work with a wonderful team that we all work well together, and I talk a lot about building culture and doing having the joy of working together and the joy outside of work. But then also the volunteers, a fantastic board of directors. I love going out, meet with the students, meeting with meeting with our firms, meeting with our business leaders. That's the favorite part of my job. I do enjoy being here in the office like we are today, but I love getting out and meeting with our members and meeting with students, learning from them, seeing how we can better support them. We do this series On the Road, where I drive all over the state, usually in the spring and summer and into the fall. So I'm looking forward to doing that again and getting out and seeing our members, talking with them, learning from them, see what can we do to better serve them.
One word for your leadership style.
Servant.
If not for accounting, or if not for an accounting association, what else would you do?
I work for I like to give back personally, work for a nonprofit or something, have an impact. Or be an usher at Comerica Park and go to every Tigers game. I would do that. I'd absolutely do that. Maybe in my retirement, I'll volunteer to usher at Tigers games or Red Wings games, or maybe even the Detroit Lions games now that they're successful. And
what's your favorite MICPA tradition?
We've started a tradition. Quarterly, we do a team builder. And so it will vary between, we'll do some sort of activity. We'll go to a museum in Detroit, but probably my favorite things is I bring it up again, going to the Tigers game. So
that's your future.
Yeah, we go as a staff. We go every summer. We go to lunch downtown Detroit, and then we go to an afternoon Tigers game. So that's kind of started a tradition that we've had here with the team. That's a lot of fun. There's always kind of new traditions, right? But this tradition of getting out and going on the road. This will be my third year of meeting with our members, so that's kind of a new tradition that I love too.
Amazing. Basically, you love every tradition.
Sure.
So what's on your bucket list that you haven't yet accomplished?
I guess here at MICPA is to certainly accelerate membership. There's still opportunities for more members, perhaps some, especially targeting the newer staff. Getting them to understand who we are, who MICPA is, what we do, why we exist, and why they should be part of us, why they should get involved. And it's challenging. I mean, there's lots of, there's so many different opportunities to get involved, whether you work at a large firm or a small firm. So that's probably one of the biggest things I focus on a lot, as well as the advocacy piece. Advocating for our profession is so important. I spend a lot of time at our Capitol in Lansing. There are no CPAs in the Michigan State Legislature. So one of the things we have to do is educate our legislators on how important the profession is, how important the licensure process is, working with Treasury, working with LARA in Michigan, which is Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. And then in getting our members also, CPAs, to understand why advocacy is important.
Right.
Why they're, what we're doing to support and protect their license. So I think those are some of the challenges that we will focus on every day to get that message out of why it benefits being part of this wonderful organization and collaborating together to advance the profession.
That's a lot of hard work. So let me ask you, Bob, if you had a superpower, what would that be?
I wish I could be in two places at once.
Okay. And what would be the other place? Florida?
Well, yeah, right. So I could be on vacation and work. No, I could be here in the office, taking care of things, but also at the same time, being out and about. And a lot of times I am. Like sometimes I might be here in the morning, and then I have a meeting downtown,
So
or
the two
driving to
Bobs.
Lansing. So
Bob Doyle now becomes Bob Double.
but I have, like I said, I can't keep talking about how wonderful the team is. We have a lot of my team members that also get out talking to college students, talking to educators, talking to our members. So there's a lot of us that are out there all fighting the good fight together.
So Bob, we have a lot of international accountants, especially from India, who are excited about the American dream, who are coming in doing Masters of Accounting with STEM, with top universities, including of course Michigan State Universities, and working with public accounting firms in the US, and they're excited about the career here. What's your message to all these international accountants, who really see America as a lot of dreams and taking a plunge? They're working, some of them are quitting their jobs and taking this up, and they want to work here. They want to do good for themselves, and of course, be the flag bearer of the Indian accounting talent and live their American dream.
Yeah.
What's your message to them?
Welcome. Embrace it. Embrace the opportunity. I think. In particular here, being the automotive industry that also has a lot of talent from India that comes, and I think that's shown a lot of success, and so I think there's wonderful opportunities here. There's a need for sure, and I know especially tech focused, a lot of some of the experience that Indian accountants have already had is focused on technology, and so I know a lot of firms and businesses are looking for that. So I think there certainly is opportunity here, and embrace it.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Bob. Thanks
Absolutely.
for your time. It was really
I appreciate you coming.
And this is
welcome
really
to Michigan
nice.
anytime.
Thank you.